So here we are with the two completed hexagons, which I've folded now to form the L shapes, as you can see here. So if you're not sure about how to fold them, I'll attempt to show you on here. So it starts off kind of like it's got ridges in it, it won't lay flat. And when we want to fold them, it is simply taking the opposite corners to each other, and it will form this L shape. If you don't get it straight away, just keep practicing. I have drawn a diagram to try and explain it. But it is just about how you fold them, and you can get this L shape. Now you want to make sure that when you've done both of these, that they are the same size. So the easiest way to do that, if I go a bit closer, is where you've got here, which is going to be the armpit. You can then count up this seam, as it were, where your corners are in this side bit. Count them all the way up to the top here, and they should be the same then on both sides going up, and that means that then you should also have the same going down the middle. So when you get to this stage, the idea is that this part is your sleeve, so that should fit around your arm. Now you can go as big as you want with this, but obviously if you keep on going bigger, your arm's going to get bigger. So there are ways to increase the body rather than just the arm, because obviously if you're going to, you might want a baggy sleeve, but if you don't, we can then actually just work on increasing this part. So don't worry if this part across here isn't wide enough for you. That's what we're going to do next. I'll show you how to increase that. If it is the right size for you, then you can actually just start and look at joining these back panels. So some people just do a direct seam here, and also obviously you're going to do your seams across this bit here for your sleeve. So you'd be doing a seam here, which you can sew together, and sew your back seam, and then sew your other sleeve on here. But I'm actually going to show you how to make it a little bit bigger. So for doing that, if you just wanted, if the length was okay, for me it's not, because it's quite short and I prefer them longer, but if the length was okay, you could just do this first bit that I'm going to show you by attaching here and then going, I'll try and zoom out a little bit, so attaching at the top and then just working back and forth, making sure that you do some on this side and some of that side first, and then joining the seam once they're where you want them to be. But you can also do it so that you increase the length at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach up here, and we're going to do granny stripe or clusters down here, and then we're also going to go around this bottom edge as well. So if you go from there all the way down to the bottom and follow this second side along, and then you can turn it and go back and back up. Now there are a couple of options to this. You can actually go all the way down around this side and up the front if you want quite a close fitting cardigan at the end of it, or you can just do the back and the bottom down here. So that will actually then give you a wider bit for the back, but it'll also make it longer at the front, but it'll still give us plenty of space to do some sort of border to finish it off, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to move my camera around, so bear with me, and then I'll show you how we're going to attach the next bit. So here I've just turned this one so you can see it a bit better. I should have said as well, when you fold your hexie, make sure you keep folding it in different directions, because obviously if you've used variegated yarn, each side will look a little bit different. So if I just quickly, don't know how well you'll be able to see it now on here, but obviously this is the back of one, and it does, the colours have come out in different places. So keep folding it around to make sure you're happy, and you know, lay it out and make sure you're happy with the way you've got it arranged, and you know which is the front and which is the back. So this is going to be my front, and let's just bring that up here so we can see it. And so I'm going to tip that one up because this is where I'm going to attach it to. So this piece here, so if I just fold it up, this is the top corner. So you can see that that's my sleeve going along here. This is the top corner, and I'm going to attach into this corner space here. So attaching it into there, there's a few different ways to attach it. I'm going to do a slip knot onto my hook, then I'm going to go into that corner and do a slip stitch like so. So hopefully you can see that. And then we're going to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, and into that same space I'm going to do my my first set of trebles. So because we've got the chain of 3, we only need to do 2, and 1, 2, like so, and then you're going to just simply work along all of these, doing your normal set of 3 trebles into each space. So we're going to do 3 going down here, and just to explain, so we're going to do all the way down. You'll get to the bottom corner, you'll do the same as what you normally do with your corner, with your 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles, and then we'll work all the way on to the other corner. Now when you get to this corner, we're just going to put 3 trebles into here, and that's when we'll do a turn. So if you want to pause here whilst you do that, and catch me up. So doing exactly what you normally do until you get to here, and then you do your 3 trebles, and that. So when you get down to this end, as you can see, I've done the last space there. I've now got the corner space. So in this corner space, I'm going to do my 3 trebles. But that's it. That's where I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to do my chain and turn. Now it's worth noting here, if I put it back, fold it back how it was, she says. So I've come down this one, which was the bottom. So I'm folding it back over, making that look far more complicated than I needed to. So don't know how easy it is to see on here, but I've gone down this back one and along the bottom one over here. Now I am going to go back and back up, but if you wanted to make the front longer as well, so for some people this might not be wide enough at the front yet, for me that's okay, but I can appreciate obviously for the large person you'll need this front part expanding as well. So don't stop here, do that corner as normal, and then carry on back up to the top of the front too, and so that you're doing 3 sides effectively, and that'll increase your front and your back. When you've got enough on the front, but you just need that little bit extra on the back maybe to help make the front bit sit nicely, then just stop doing this front part and do your turns then at the bottom corner. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you're going for a much larger size, you're going to do all 3 sides. If you're just needing to extend a little bit, then you're going to do just the 2 sides, so down the middle and along the bottom. And whichever way you do, the turning is the same. If you were doing all different colours or changing colours and things and trying to control it more, you could finish off here and then restart at the other side, and that way it would keep all of this being the front, because I didn't do any turns in mine. You could have done a turn every round, but I don't. However, I am going to turn it here, so it will look slightly different. I don't think it's noticeable, but it is personal preference. So you can finish off here and attach again at the other end. Either way, it's entirely up to you. Whether you're attaching at the other end or you're turning, you're still going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be doing a chain of 3 here, 1, 2, 3. So if you had attached to restart back here, you would have attached into the top of this chain and done a chain of 3, and then it's the same thing. So I'm going to turn it with my chain of 3, and now I'm going to go over into my chain space over here. It's not chain space, but the space between the clusters, and do my first cluster. So the idea is that turning chain of 3 acts as your first treble. Now if you were doing a chain between your clusters, you'd do a turning chain of 4. But that would be like so. So that's where I've got the chain here, and then I carry on with the clusters, and I'm just going to now work my way back along doing exactly the same. When I get to the other end, when I get back to where we've started up here, I'll be doing 3 into here, and then I'll do 1 treble into the top of that chain. And then to turn, we'll actually be working back into those clusters. So you'll end up kind of looking as we were down here, and you'll do your chain of 3, but then you'll be working it into a cluster and doing your 2 trebles and then carrying on. So you're just going to repeat these last 2 rows basically until it's as big as you need it to be. So hopefully that makes sense, and that's just how we're going to increase the back and the front. Once it's big enough at the front, as I say, you can stop doing the front strip and then just concentrate on doing the bottom and the back. Once you're happy with the back and that's big enough, don't forget you need to do whatever you do on one piece, you need to do it on the second piece. And then you can join the back seams, and that's when we'll concentrate then on just going round at the bottom to make it longer, but we can do that in the next part. So you'll be just joining your seams, and that's where I want to meet you next, is when you've joined your seams, and also you can then join your shoulder seams as well up here. So just joining where the arms are and the sleeves, just going to join them here. A common method for this is just to do a whip stitch. Just grab a needle. So if we're doing a whip stitch, it is just to put the two pieces together and to go through the inside loops of both. And you could stitch this together if you prefer to crochet it. You can just sew across those two strands all the way. You can also do mattress seam where you go in the middle of each and the middle on the opposite. If you want some tips on sewing, I'll do a separate video for those. But yeah, and just to join those seams together. So you're going to join your seams for your arms across the top, and then we're going to join the back seam when you've got it to the right size. And then we'll meet again, and I'll show you how to do the sleeves to extend them and how to put a cuff on them, how to taper them if you prefer to taper them rather than having them too wide, and also then how to lengthen it at the bottom. So that's how we're going to expand the back panel.